Chapter 4. We will wrestle with problems one by one as we travel along together. We will not classify the subjects or try to make a system or establish a science or cult. In this book we take things as they come, and that's a pretty good plan to adopt in your business and home affairs. It will help you get along much faster. I have written these chapters in the midst of a busy life and in a sort of catch-as-can manner, jotting a few lines down today and some more tomorrow. The one trouble that faces us most is the worry problem, for it is apparent to so many of the petty troubles. Worry is peculiar to the human animal because the human animal is the only animal which thinks, and the human being gets his thoughts twisted, misplaced, and clouded until he thinks worry is real, when in truth worry is only imagination. Our thoughts are like the tides of the sea, which ebb and flow in never-stopping rhythm. Our thoughts rise on a high tide of buoyancy and joy, to be followed by the reflex action or low tide, and to keep your poise during the low tide is a manner of fine strategy. Worry is the negative or opposite to the positive peace. If we are sensitive to worry, it will harm us. If we are sensible about worry, it cannot harm us. The best way to be effectually sensible about worry is to learn to make ourselves insensible to it. You cannot kill worry by blows or fighting it directly. You cannot rid yourself of worry by simply saying, "I will not worry." The weapons to fight worry with are substitution, strategy, and elimination. Worry is eliminated by substitution of confidence thought. We can only think one thing at a time, and if we think faith or courage or joy or peace, we cannot think worry thoughts at the same time. Remember this point well. I say you cannot think two things at the same time, but later on I will show you how you can do several things at the same time. There is much difference between thinking and doing. Chapter 5. In their extremity, many persons who are unsuccessful in establishing better thought by willpower resort to drugs, little realizing what harm they are doing themselves. Morphine doesn't cure pain, it simply deadens sensibility to pain for the time being. Strychnia and other deadly poisons in diluted pill or tablet form will quicken the pulse and give a feeling of exhilaration or buoyancy for the time being, but at terrific cost to your physical body. Dope deadens the nerves to pain or intoxicates the imagination, causing the mind to paint false pictures. Every grain of poison you take lessens your resistance. Shun drugs, pills, or tonics. No good can come of them. Drugs cannot better your mind or physical condition. Nature has tonics which you will learn of later, but bear in mind neither drugs nor words can cure you of any trouble that comes from inefficient mind control, lack of power to think, or weakness of will. The cure must be made by your own self, through your own mind, and by your own willpower. I am simply the purveyor of truth, the assistant, the counsel, the preceptor. The fact is that the responsibility is upon you. I will help you to reason, will try to convince and show you the way, but you must accept, follow, and practice. The base on which we rest our argument is that no two objects can occupy the same space at the same time. When worry occupies our thoughts, all good thought is shut out. When happiness is in possession, worry is out. Worry and fear thought will keep you at high pressure and cause you to go to extremes in mental activity. With faith thought, confidence, and poise in possession of your thinking apparatus, you can slow down and conserve your energies. Excitement or stress of emergency runs up your nerve voltage, and at such times you must pull yourself together and establish calmness and poise and slow down your governor. Regularity in your habits, avoidance of extremes must be your rule, and this will bring you to a sereneness and an ability clearly, rationally, and sensibly to solve problems and overcome obstacles. So long as you live, you will face problems. It is the nature of things and the purpose of the great plan to bring out strong individuals. With poise and calmness, you can successfully combat all the problems which confront you, for nature has given every man the equipment to assume the responsibilities he faces in life. In your relation to the things of this world, all your problems divide themselves into two classes, one consisting of the things you can control, the other the things you cannot control. Obviously, it is footless to worry over the things you cannot control, and time so spent is worse than wasted. The things you can control may look to be beyond your power at present, But as you go along with us, you will gradually find yourselves measuring up to greater ability and power, and obstacles will diminish in size as your strength increases. So, go to bed tonight with the firmly fixed thought that worry is a mental condition, that it is unreal and cannot hurt you if you are unafraid. Worry may make horrible pictures in your dreams. Your problems will be distorted and magnified, but just keep a stiff backbone and a stiff jawbone and say, I am unafraid. Do this, and even tonight you will sleep better, and surely tomorrow you will have more confidence. Chapter 6. Here are many things in concrete form, the details and the hows of which we will consider later on. Absorb as many of the suggestions as you can right now, and you will gain rapidly in your stock of pep. Be calm and serene. Drink more water, more buttermilk, less coffee and tea. Take more rest, sleep more, eat less. Eat more cereals, more dry toast, and less red meat. Chew your food thoroughly. Eat slowly. Avoid fancy foods, condiments, and highly seasoned desserts. Slow down your speed. Spend more time out of doors. Sleep with your windows wide open, winter or summer. Relax. Think faith and uplift thought. This is a pretty big bunch of rules. Follow as many of them as you possibly can. Accept the suggestions because of your faith in the guide, and upon my promise that proof of the efficacy of these suggestions will be abundant as you progress. As we shall soon clearly see, nothing comes out of our brain in thought that was not first planted in our brain. We are in mind and body what we feed upon mentally and materially. You must eliminate, so far as you possibly can, all fear and worry thought, and feed your brain on faith and joy thought. If you keep feeding on pleasant, dominant, courageous, helpful, upbuilding thought, this mental food will be digested and you will realize great benefits. Patience here again is the word, for you may not notice instant gain in your mental strength any more than you recognize quick results in physical strength following a substantial meal. Think good, see good, hear good, mix with good, and have patience. You cannot cut down a tree with one stroke of an axe. Figuratively, we have locked arms, clasped hands, looked into each other's eyes, felt each other's hearts, and given each other our confidence. I want you to feel that these thoughts are personal, human, and not mere printed words. I want you to feel there is a joyous, helpful camaraderie between us as we go along, finding sunshine and health and spreading joy into Shadowland. We are helping ourselves, and we are helping others who need us. Truth and evidence shall be our basis, and we must be wide awake, alert, and receptive. We will forget how often we fell asleep over those heavy old scientific books, written by thin-blooded men who have never been in the fray, men who have never felt as you and I have felt. Those men write theory. We are practicing truth. The housewife doesn't care for tables and tests, information about yeast ferments, heat units, bacilli culture. She wants to know how much flour, water, salt, yeast, heat, and time to use, and in what proportion, so that she may bake bread. You do not care for a glossary of words or an array of scientific terms or pictures of neurons, ganglia, nerve centers, etc., ad nauseum. We will have to do with the practical ways by which you may substitute sereneness for worry, smiles for frowns, joys for sorrows, health for illness, strength for weakness, courage for fear, hope for despair, love for hate, kindness for cruelty, gentleness for roughness, friendship for enmity, charity for selfishness. Chapter 7. We are planting seeds and learning about the weeds which kill the flowers, so that we may destroy the weeds. Henceforth, when opportunity offers, and when you can make opportunity, think about the flowers and the beauty and the good things of life. It will be harder to point your compass aright and steer true to this course now than it will be later. I could have given you the definite rules to follow on 1 or 2 pages of this book, and very little good would have come to you. The parent could tell the child the 10 Commandments and the Golden Rule, and within those 11 rules and suggestions practically the great guides to morals and living could be found. The teacher could give the basic rules of arithmetic, reading, and writing, and the pupil would have the basis for a life's work. But good, so far as it has to do with the shaping of our lives, our morals, or our educations, must be brought out by sustained and continued application and attention. Don't you see then why it is better for you and me to travel slowly along, rather than to have me tell you the story in a few words? Can't you see how it will benefit you if you keep this book ever near you after you have finished it in the form laid out? By reading a chapter or so every day in the manner suggested, you are going to fasten habit until it is firmly fixed, and your good thought will work automatically. Again, I ask patience, for clouds will come to you, despair will creep in, but each day, if patience and persistence is your rule, you are weakening the enemies to your sereneness. The shipbuilding yard looks like a gigantic jackstraw puzzle. We cannot appreciate how order is to come out of such chaos. Lots of time and patience have been expended in preparing the plates, bars, bolts, and rods. Someday, the mastermind who laid out these plans will issue the orders, and these thousands of pieces will be carried to the stocks, each finding its place, and a great ship will appear. There was a lot of preparation, a lot of patience necessary. So, with your task, patience and sincerity in the study of the parts, plans, and conditions are necessary, and when assembly time comes, you will surely realize great benefits.